Hello. Have you ever done this with a quarter, penny, dime? You just like to flip it, get a good flip, see if it's heads or tails. Flip, flop, spinning it up and down. Well, connecting it to Mark chapter 14, there's a lot of flipping and flopping going on in this chapter, and mostly flopping. Judas flops because he betrays Jesus and turns him over to be arrested. We've got disciples that go with Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane that flop because Jesus asked them to stay awake and they fell asleep. They couldn't even be with him when in his very emotional time in the Garden of Gethsemane. We have one disciple who really flops because as he's running away for fear of getting arrested, he leaves all his clothes behind. What's that all about? And then there's Peter. He initially said, "I will never leave you, Jesus." And then he flopped big time, 3 times, saying he didn't even know who Jesus was. Flipping and flopping. You know, this Mark 14 is a really tough chapter, but I'm very glad that Mark doesn't end his gospel with this chapter, because with all the flipping and flopping going on, and mostly flopping, there's a big flip at the end where Jesus rises from the dead and he can reach down to those people who flopped and flip them over again. He restores Peter. He restores his disciples, letting them know that they are loved, forgiven, redeemed children of God. You know, in our life, we've probably got a lot of flips and flops too. Times where things are going great, maybe call that a flip, and times where things aren't going so great, we call that a flop. When our faith is struggling, when times are hard. But thanks be to God that we have a Savior who has been there, who has risen from the dead, and ultimately reaches down and turns our flops back into flips, into new life with him, and ultimately life with him forever in his heavenly home. Thank you for listening to me tonight.